Welcome into Philly Voice Bets. Devan Kaney joined by Eitan Shander and Harry Mays. This is brought to you by Rita's Water Ice.
Rita's is bringing back pumpkin perfection with our pumpkin milkshake and Reese's Take 5 Pumpkin Concrete. And new app users can get a free ice when they download and use offer code PUMPKIN. Trademarks are used under license. Offer expires October 16th.
Be cool, eat your Rita's.
Guys, we had I don't know if exciting is the right word to describe that Thursday night football game, but before we get into this weekend's action ahead of us, let's kind of recap what went right and what went wrong. I know a lot of people were disappointed by the ending of that game. I only had money on an anytime touchdown from Amari Cooper, so I'm completely satisfied with what happened, even though that game kind of wasn't too exciting for me to watch. But Harry, what happened for you in that one?
Yeah, that game sucked last night, and I went to bed as soon as Pittsburgh kicked the field goal, which put it over the total of 38 that I had under. So I went to bed, and I missed all the shenanigans at the end of that game, which I know blew a lot of people's 6 and 7 point teasers to smithereens. But yeah, not a very good game. I'm feeling pretty good about my Pittsburgh Steelers under the win total that we put out in August because they're not a good football team offensively. And, you got to give Cleveland credit, though, winning some games now, without their starting quarterback. They're starting to, do things the way they want to do it. They run the football, they play some defense. And I think they're going to be scrappy here until they get their quarterback back.
Yeah, I jumped in. It was 14-7, right? Or whatever variation of it, because I think there was a missed kick. And you could clearly tell that the game flow was going to change and that it was going to slow down in the second half. Just knowing that these teams were getting up and down on some bigger plays just wasn't going to be consistent. So we jumped in under 44.5, under 45.5 was right there as well. And it was right at the time perfect time, because it was right at the shift of game flow, of pacing, especially at the half that slowed everything down as well. So while everybody else went to bed and everybody else thought to themselves, there's just no reason to sit up and watch meaningless football, I'm sitting there with the game cast on, basically with Seinfeld running on Netflix, and I forgot to essentially cut off the game cast. Next thing I know, my phone is blowing up from all the people who tailed me on this live Discord play of under 44.5. What the hell? I can't believe it. Like, if anything, this is just a reminder, a PSA to keep your betting size, your units similar, because my God, if anybody went heavy on that play, they may have lost their kid's college fund on a fumbled Hail Mary, whatever the hell you call that freaking thing. So yeah, I mean, my teaser getting busted is one thing, but an under 44.5 that you thought was just locked. I mean,
Wow.
People were shaking hands across the internet like, well done, as that thing busted.
Incredible.
All right, let's move on in order. I think we should go through the weekend. So starting with Saturday, Harry, I know you had a pretty aggressive lineup that we went over on Wednesday. But any update on that, on your college football plays for this weekend?
Yeah, the 14 parlay at plus 1208. I got some updated numbers here on this, that make me feel better about what I did earlier this week. Michigan, I took Michigan laying the 17 over Maryland, and Michigan has won the last 6 ATS against the Terrapins. So that's a good streak to be on. I also took the Minnesota Golden Gophers as a road favorite at Michigan State, -2.5. They are 7-1 against the number in their last 8 against Sparty. So I feel good about that. Wake Forest, the line has now moved from 7 to 7.5. I have it at +7. They're now +7.5, but Wake is 7-3-1 in their last 11 hosting the Clemson Tigers. That's a tough road spot for Clemson. And then Ohio State laying 19. That line has stayed solid. They are 4-0-1 in their last 5 games hosting the Badgers. So all those trends make me feel pretty good about Saturday afternoon college football.
Love it.
Wow, I'm surprised, man. Like I'm on the opposite side of both of those. So I got Maryland at +18
Okay.
And all I need to do, and look, you're right. Like Michigan is definitely a good football team this year. Nobody's going to take that away
They're
from
an
them. The
offensive
history.
juggernaut.
Yeah, against Colorado State, Hawaii, and Connecticut. All right, it might as well be Southeast Connecticut State at that point. All right, it was those three teams.
Quinnipiac.
Exactly.
Let's go
and
there.
You know who they have next week following this Maryland game, Harry?
Who do they have?
Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa at
stinks.
Iowa.
Iowa
it's
stinks.
it's at Iowa, and this is a major game for Michigan in their minds. All right, so I don't think it's a look-ahead game, which means they don't get beat. But I took Maryland plus 18 because I thought it was a large number for them to cover. And then look, Wake's only 1-5 ATS as a conference dog of 10 or fewer points. I don't think they're better than last year's team right now that won 11 games. They're just 10-27 ATS versus teams coming off consecutive wins. And then this is what got me. Dabo, all right, the big man. 34-18-1 ATS in conference games coming off a win of 20-plus points, but not covering the spread.
You are reaching here with these trends.
Wait.
Oh,
he's in somebody over at Wynn in Vegas hit him up and said, "Hey man, you won that game, but you didn't cover the spread." All right, that's
next?
all I'm saying.
What next? Dabo is 35-7-2 after having an omelet for breakfast in the morning before the game.
Works.
I mean, what kind of trends are we talking about here?
He's coming off a win of 20-plus points, but not covering the spread. He's 34-18-1 in the following game covering the spread. I want every part of that. Every part. He's a perfectionist.
He's got no rock to rub before he runs down the hill at Wake Forest, though. See?
Hey, man, he could come over and rub my head for all I care. That's fine with me.
All right, now let's look ahead to Sunday NFL, guys. Do we want to just jump into this Eagles-Commanders game or want to go over?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm going to start us off here because I wasn't entirely sure what I felt confident enough picking in this game. But on FanDuel, actually, they have a same game parlay that I'm going to do, and it is Philadelphia Eagles money line, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown scorer, Jalen Hurts over 50.5 rushing yards, and then an A.J. Brown touchdown score. A.J. Brown still hasn't gotten a touchdown for the Eagles since he's been playing. Jalen Hurts over 50.5 rushing yards. Let me find his numbers real quick. What did he do? He had 57 in week 2 for 11 rushes and 17 for 90 in week 1. So,
yeah. Right.
Pretty confident that that's going to hit. And that is at like plus 618.
And what is the number again? What's the total on rushing yards for him?
From what week?
Wait, what was the plus 618? I'm sorry.
So that whole parlay is plus 618.
Oh, so it's the same game parlay.
Yes. Yeah.
So okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was all individual. So no. It's got it. It's Brown anytime.
Brown anytime. Jalen Hurts over 50.5 rushing.
50.5. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Eagles money line. So no spread. But
right.
Money.
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty secure.
And that gets you plus 616, you said?
618.
618.
Not bad.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely correlating everything there with that play. Money line right now, I mean, you're up close to 3-1, probably 270, 280 with that. And then also, like, Brown is probably going to be the main anchor of value in that because Hurts, what's Hurts just alone? He's probably less than even money, right? Yeah, minus 120, depending on where you're looking. Brown's just over that, too. So that's pretty good. I mean, they all correlate, and that's a pretty good return.
What do you guys looking at for that one?
I just have the Eagles minus 1.5 in the first quarter.
I like that. Eitan, what about you?
Wait, I'm sorry. Eagles money line first quarter?
Minus 1.5.
Okay. You just like them coming out?
Yeah, I do. I just don't like Washington coming out more than I like the Eagles coming out. I think they're going to get off to a slow start. I'm looking at this game as being one of these games where the Eagles have a decent double-digit lead in the third to fourth quarter and give up a little bit at the end. Carson Wentz makes a little bit of a comeback, but not enough.
But see, the short turnaround from Monday night makes me worried about that. It makes me worried about a hot start. I don't know.
I agree.
Go either way.
Yeah.
They carry that momentum from Monday and just like come out gunslinging, or they take a little while to
well, I mean, 3-0 after the first quarter really isn't a hot start, but it gets you a win.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is very true.
Yeah, I that's the thing though. Like you see a lot of like first quarter, right? It's 3-0, 3-3, 7-3, maybe if you're lucky, like 10-7. So you've covered a lot of the or 0-0, depending on, when you see. You don't really have time. 15 minutes isn't a lot of time, right, for crazy shit to happen. So, yeah, you're getting them really at what, minus? You're laying the half a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 1.5?
1.5.
Okay.
1.5.
No, look, I'm on the other side of this, and it seems like we are for a little bit of this, Harry. And I want, first off, for the game, I'm going over the total. I'm not taking a side right now with points, but I'm going over, and I think just for me, it's about Wentz, 7 touchdowns in 2 games. He's throwing the ball in the air. I think the Eagles defense is somewhere in between Detroit and Minnesota. Also, you have 2 legit number 1 wide receivers on the field. We saw that with Justin Jefferson. It's just going to be hard for the Eagles to contain number 1s week in and week out. So I like the ball moving in the air. Here's where I get a little concerned. Rivera, 7-11 straight up at home, 3-8 Washington against the spread, last 11 division home games. And as much as I am concerned about the Eagles off Monday night, they're 8-3 against the spread as division favorites off Monday Night Football. So I'm just going to focus on the first half and say that's the best chance that Washington has. So I go back to that same game parlay I hit earlier in the week where it's just Washington +4 over 23.5 first half points. Washington, +4.5 first half, and then over 23.5 first half. So that's the same game parlay. That's it. And last, I mean, you can get it plus money probably still. I got it on Caesars. Wentz over 238.5. I'm happy to take plus money for him to go over that number. So I'd add that as a player prop.
There's one thing I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts is not going to see this week, and that's that shell coverage crap that Minnesota chose to do for 4 quarters on Monday night. I think he's going to see some different defenses and some changing up of defenses, at the snap. I think, you got to learn something if you're Washington from what they saw Monday night.
I agree. It's going to be a tough one, man.
Ugly.
Wait, Devan, you're muted.
Sorry. Washington's allowing the most yards per rush in the league right now. So hopefully the Eagles kind of balance that run to pass ratio when it comes to play calling. Any other NFL games that we're looking at, guys?
Yeah, I got a 3-team parlay and 2 totals that I'm going under in the Baltimore Ravens game against New England. This New England defense is pretty darn good. Their offense isn't much to crow about, but that screams under to me. Under 44 was something I jumped on right before the show started. And also in that Houston Texans, Chicago Bears pillow fight of 2 awful football teams, 2 awful offenses, under 39.5 seems like a gift. And then I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins +5. I'm laying 2.5 at the Ravens, and then Houston +3 in a 3-team parlay at +554.
So you're taking the Dolphins over the Bills.
Yeah, this Bills defense is banged up. Both their safeties may not play. They sustained a lot of injuries. They're on the short week as well. Big emotional game, playing at home in their home opener, and they came out. They've been in 2 primetime games to start this season. I think this is a little flat spot for the Buffalo Bills this week.
Okay, I like that. Eitan, what about you?
Yeah, Harry has a lot invested in Houston.
Yes.
For a bad football team.
I might have heard like the most positive things about Houston all season so far from Harry.
Yeah.
He must be a secret fan.
That's only because he has money on him. That's the only reason why.
Teams can make you money too. I mean,
they can. So I'm doing something different this week, and I think we have a shot with it. I know that Buffalo is the team that you're fading, Harry, on that full line. But what I've done, and so far so good with Cleveland coming through, is create a multi-team 6-leg NFL teaser, but it's down to 3 points. So what I've done is I've targeted 6 different teams who are involved in spreads where a 3-point movement moves them through hopefully 1 or 2 key numbers. So I have the Browns -1.5. That's in. Bears have been teased down to a money line play. The Vikings have been teased down to -2.5. The Bills have been teased down to -2.5. Hard for me to think, Harry, you'd pass up on the Bills -2.5.
No.
It's different at 5.5, right?
Right.
The Chargers, I get it. This is a tough one with Herbert, et cetera. The Chargers have been bet down to a 4-point home favorite, and Jacksonville's going to be tough. I get it. And then finally, the Rams are teased down to a 0.5-point favorite, where essentially they're a pick 'em on the road. So that's the big one. I brought up that Ravens ladder there, and I love Baltimore like you are, Harry, and I've messed around with that.
Big bounce back for the Ravens this week.
I do. I think so as well. We're 2-0 so far, fading the Cincinnati Bengals. That's not going to stop for me. So I took the Jets +5.5, and also a 2-leg 4.5-point teaser that has the Carolina Panthers now +7.5 and the Jets +10. That's an even money play. And then, look, I'll leave you with this. I put 1/4 of a unit on this. I think there's a chance for it. I don't hate it if you go under in this game, but the Colts at +215 to beat the Chiefs. Just keep an eye on that one, all right? That's all I'm saying.
I thought about that.
You think the Colts can beat the Chiefs? You're doing
I thought
no way.
I thought about that. Yes.
Honestly,
last week.
It's awful, Devan. It's so bad right now. I can't give you anything more than just Indianapolis is not as bad as they look, but also the Chiefs. Look, the Chiefs have Tampa Bay next week, and that's Super Bowl revenge. That's a lot of stuff, and I think that there is something with a look-ahead element to this where they see how bad Indianapolis is. Matt Ryan, whatever's left of that carcass, is 6-0 ATS versus the AFC West. So as bad as he's been over the last couple of years against the spread, somehow he beats the AFC West. And the Chiefs are 1-5 ATS last 6 versus the AFC South. I get it. It sounds awful to hear that.
It's a stinker, but I love it. It's a stinker, and I love it.
Yeah, that's a stinker. I was going to pick the Colts as my side, like in terms of spread, because what is that spread? 5.5?
5.5.
Yeah. Take them.
Absolutely. And the public's going to be all over the Chiefs anyway. See, that's the other thing. The public loves overs, and they love big bet favorites. So we got to go the opposite way. That's why I take unders.
All right. Well, we will see, guys. Anything else before we close out? All good?
Nope. I think that's pretty much it. Go Air Force.
Oh, that's right. Tonight.
Go Air Force. Go Birds. And we'll see you guys on Monday.